Okay, so now we're going to start calculating drug dosages, and there's several methods that you can use to do this. I am going to use the method that's in the textbook we're using now. Other textbooks show a few different methods. The one that we're using now focuses on one. And I have videos of a different way than the one I'm going to show you now, and I'm going to say that I like this one the best because I believe it matches the mental thought process that you need when you're actually given a medication. You actually need to calculate the dose. The steps kind of flow. With that, I'm going to pull out medications, and we're going to draw air in the syringe to demonstrate the amount that you would administer. And to do that, we're going to take the desired dose or ordered dose. Either we're given an order by a doctor, or we encounter a patient that we know they need a dose of a medication. And we're going to divide that by our dose on hand. And the dose on hand is we're going to pull the medication vial out, or however the medication's packaged, pre-filled syringe, Bristojet, and how much of that medication, what is the dose that it is packaged in. We're going to multiply this by volume. And the desired dose divided by the dose on hand times the volume of liquid that is in the vial or pre-filled syringe or whatever we're using to wherever the medication packaged, the volume that is in there. So we know the desired dose, we know how much medication we have, we know how much volume we have. So what we need to do is figure out how much volume does it take to get to our desired dose. So let's get started. And my syringes. So we're going to say that a patient is an anaphylaxis, and we're going to give them 0.5 milligrams of epinephrine. Now, when we give epinephrine for anaphylaxis, initially at least it's going to be intramuscular. We're going to use the 1 milligram per milliliter concentration. So this is what I have in the bag. And our desired dose is 0.5 milligrams. And just to review, again, we're always going to put units after a number. And if it's less than 1, whatever unit we're using, there's going to be 1 0 in front of it. So 1 0 in front of the decimal point, the number, no trailing zeros. So this is 0.5. And we're going to put our units that we're measuring right after it. So 0.5 milligrams is our desired dose. And I looked here. We have 1 milligram. And we have 1 milliliter. And to calculate that, 0.5 milligrams divided by 1, and these cancel out. So this is going to be 0.5 milliliters. So suppose, however, we open our bag and we have this volume, this vial of adrenaline or epinephrine, and it is 30 milligrams in 30 milliliters. So our desired dose is the same, 0.5 milligrams. However, our dose on hand is 30 milligrams, and our volume is 30 milliliters. So that actually, because these cancel out, and these the 30 cancels out, we're left with 0.5 milliliters. So whether you have, going back to the previous lesson, whether you have this vial or this vial, we're going to draw 0.5 milliliters. 0.5 milligrams, 0.5 milliliters, no matter which size vial we're using. Okay, so let's do another one. We've given our epinephrine for anaphylaxis, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to give diphenhydramine or Benadryl. And diphenhydramine comes in 50 milligrams per milliliter, and our desired dose, protocol dose we want to give is 50 milligrams. So our desired dose this time is 50, and our dose on hand is 50 milligrams, and our volume is 1. So this equals, this cancels, this cancels, this cancels. This leaves us with 1 milliliter. So 50 milligrams in 1 milliliter. So we're going to give everything, the entire amount of medication that is packaged in this vial. Usually there's a little extra in there, but we just want to give 1 milliliter of diphenhydramine, which is 50 milligrams. Now, when we do this, we're going to do a cross-check. So one of the ways for medication safety, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but what I want you to do, now that we've done a couple of these, is we're going to give the dose, drug name, the route, and the reason. So epinephrine is so important, intramuscular versus the other forms. You go through the contraindications. And after you do your calculations, you're going to confirm the volume or quantity that the medication you're going to give. So you're going to confirm that with a partner. Hopefully if you don't have a paramedic partner, an EMT partner, or even the patient, just going through this process by yourself will help prevent errors. So we're going to give the dose, the volume, and then at the very end we're going to state the drug concentration. So in the case of epinephrine, I'm going to give 0.5 milligrams and 0.5 milliliters because the concentration is 1 milligram per milliliter. I'm going to give diphenhydramine 50 milligrams. I'm going to give 1 milliliter because the concentration is 50 milligrams per milliliter. So we're going to go through some more examples. Okay, so next up we're going to give someone fentanyl for pain, and we're going to say we want to give 100 micrograms. Our dose on hand is 250 micrograms, and our volume is 5 milliliters. So first we're going through the orders. We're going to divide 100 by 250, which is 0.4 micrograms times 5, and this cancels, equals 2 milliliters. So 0.4 times 5, so we're going to give 2 milliliters. So in order to do that, we're going to take our 3 ml syringe. We're going to draw 2 milliliters. We're going to do our cross-check. We're going to give 100 micrograms of fentanyl in 2 milliliters because the concentration is 250 micrograms at 5 milliliters. So you confirm that with your partner. But one other thing that we could do, makes it a little bit easier, is we see that our dose on hand is 250 micrograms. our volume on hand is 5 milliliters. But if you look underneath of it, you can see the concentration, 50 micrograms per milliliter. So it breaks this down for you. That's an easier number to work with, and that will work too as long as you do not mix up the concentration on hand or the dose on hand. So if you mix up one of these numbers, you're going to get the wrong answer. But this vial, you can look, it would have worked on the epinephrine one also. We know it's 50 micrograms in 1 milliliter. So let's try that. 100 micrograms. And the concentration that we have to work with is 50 micrograms in 1 milliliter, and that equals 2. And that equals 2 milliliters. These cancel each other out. So both desired dose, concentration on hand, so both of those work. Both of those give us the same answer. We do the same cross-check technique. Take our 3 ml syringe. Let's draw 2 milliliters. I have 100 micrograms in 2 milliliters.